It's been 1 year since Hurricane Helene hit western North Carolina, which is why we're live here in Boone all week long. And did you know the North Carolina mountains are home to the leading supplier of IV fluid bags in the nation? So when Helene hit the Baxter plant near Marion, production was brought to an absolute standstill. It created then a crisis as surgeries across the country were then postponed. And that is when those Baxter workers jumped into action, even as they dealt with their own personal tragedies. Tucked away in the mountains of McDowell County, just north of Marion, a sprawling 1.4 million square foot medical supplies plant in the community of North Cove.
I am a filling operator. I make IV bags.
Bernice Hensley is a 30-year veteran of the Baxter plant. The plant and its 2,500 employees produce 60% of all IV fluid bags made in the U.S.
I have a lot of pride in what I do because every bag that we make can potentially save a life or it helps someone who's sick.
When Hurricane Helene hit, that mission was threatened.
They're calling it a 1,000-year storm.
A levee upstream failed, sending the Catawba River rushing into the plant. Video shows that within a few minutes, the floor was covered in several inches of water.
Really quickly, we were able to see that this wasn't just a minor interruption or a power outage.
A plant that produced sterile medical supplies for 5 decades was covered in mud. Production stopped, surgeries were delayed all across the country. But for Baxter workers, the real crisis was unfolding at home.
Not having Melissa here has been devastating.
Bernice's daughter, Melissa, was caught in a landslide inside her home. The mountainside gave way, washing the home into the creek below. Footage from family shows where that house once stood. Melissa's husband and 4 kids managed to get to safety. Melissa's body was discovered 4 days later.
This anniversary is going to be very difficult, very hard. It's left her not being here's left a big gap in our life.
A year that's been filled with tremendous grief and defiant growth. Within a month, IV fluid bags were coming off assembly lines at Baxter, shipping to hospitals across the country.
By 5 months, all the production lines were at 100% pre-hurricane levels.
And the work isn't over. A bridge to the plant that was washed away is being rebuilt. Inside, production lines are still reopening every week. All thanks to workers like Bernice, who put aside their own tragedies to focus on helping others.
You knew that people needed our product, so you really wanted to get back to work.
By the way, shout out to Bernice and Tim Marini and all the folks there at Baxter who hosted us. Just an outstanding group of people there, telling the story that so many other people have told across the mountains here, and that's putting aside their own personal crisis during a time of need and helping out, in their case, an entire country. All that work should be done at the plant in the new year.